Hi everyone! In this video, we are going to explore how to use the Chrome reading mode on the Chrome web browser. Who can benefit from this tool? Really, anyone can benefit from using this tool, but some specific examples are: using this will allow you to adjust the font style and size of the text on the website. You can adjust the page contrast. You can use text-to-speech to have the text read aloud, and it provides for the ability to remove distractions from the page. Why do you want to use this tool? For students that struggle with reading, comprehension, and decoding, having a tool like this can help remove those barriers to reading. Also, having a tool that is part of a mainstream technology allows for a more beneficial experience for all users and normalizes the use of these features. So now let's jump into the Chrome web browser and take a look at this tool in action. So before we get started, I just want to let you know that I am doing this demonstration using a MacBook Air computer, but I am using the Chrome web browser as my website access. This tool is available whether you're using a Chromebook, your Android, Mac, or PC. The primary difference between using it on the Chromebook versus using it on a Mac or PC is right now reading mode, which is the built-in text-to-speech program, is currently only activated if you are using a Chromebook. So in this example, like I said, I'm on my MacBook, but I'm going to show you that even though the reading mode is not currently turned on for the web browser, I can still access the text-to-speech feature using the built-in accessibility features of my MacBook. All right, so the first thing I want to do is show you where to find it. So again, it's going to look different depending on where you're at. So on my Mac, I need to go to my three dots here at the top, and I'm going to come down to More Tools, and I'm going to find Reading Mode. And you'll see here that next to Reading Mode, there's this little book over here. If you are on a Chromebook, this little icon will most likely be showing up here in your top toolbar. So if it's not there, again, come down into More Tools, Reading Mode, and click on it. The first thing that you're going to notice is that the reading mode is going to open up as a panel presentation. When I attended the ATIA 2025 conference and attended a session on the newest features in the Chromebook, this was one of the tools that they were talking about. And at first I thought, well, that's really interesting that you're putting it as a side panel, because when you are using the reading mode on Safari, it completely removes the original web page and opens everything up in a new one. During the presentation, they said that they specifically did this because they were getting feedback from teachers and users that they like to be able to reference the original website, especially if that original website does have images, whether it be pictures or graphs or even videos that the teachers may be referencing back to. The student would then, if it didn't do panel mode, the student would then have to go out of reading mode, go back into the original website to try to find that picture, and then jump back into reading mode. This way, you have both options. You notice when you open it up, the default is that the reading mode is going to be a smaller side panel compared to the original website, but you do have the ability to change that size. So I can come in here in the middle and you see my arrow shows up, and then I can just drag and I can make my reading mode area larger or smaller. So if you do have that situation where I'm not going to be referencing the information on that original that original website, or I don't really want to be looking at it, I can make it pretty large. It's not going to fill up the whole screen, but I can make it pretty large. So now let's take a look at the top toolbar in reading mode to go over how you can further customize this page. The first is the text customization. So when I click in the box, I have a drop-down menu and it will give me different fonts that are available. During the presentation that I attended, the presenters had said that Google had done a study in 2022 and 2023, and they based the text styles that they put into this program based on the results of that study. They described the Poppins text as having a high readability scores for people with dyslexia and learning disabilities based on that study. The Lexand Deca, they said, was designed specifically for readers with dyslexia. So if I click on that, you can see kind of has that heavier weighted kind of font style, which is similar to the Open Dyslexic font. The other one that they highlighted was the Atkinson Hyper Legible, and they said that they provided this font style for people that have low vision. And then they said they have the Stix 2 text and the sans serif, which mimic closer to what they said what the people in the study traditionally use as a default font when they're creating text. So what's really nice about this is depending on the user, they can go in and they can adjust the font style. The next thing that they can do is they can enlarge the size. So here you have your A- and A+. If I go A-, I'm going to make the font smaller. If I go A+, I'm going to make the font larger. So the students, again, can come in and customize. The next option that you have is a little hyperlink here. And what this will do is, you can see here at the top, it says Disney Parks and it has a hyperlink. If I click on that, it's going to bring me to whatever page that is. And you'll see that because I opened up that hyperlink in reading mode, on the left-hand side, it updates the original, it changes the website to that new link, but it also automatically updates that reader mode. So I don't have to keep going in and out of reader mode. I can stay within there. If I click on the back arrow, you'll see it's bringing me back to my original website and back again to that reading mode page. If you don't want the students to be distracted by these links, you can recommend that they click on this button, and what it's going to do is it's not going to remove the text, but it's going to remove the active link. So when the student clicks, you'll see there's nothing there. They can't access that link. So if you have students that do get distracted by the links or maybe jumping ahead, you can recommend that, hey, at this time we're going to focus on this page. Let's turn off those links so as you're reading, you don't accidentally click it or you don't get distracted by it. And then when it's time to go into those links, then we can turn that feature back on. The next feature is your contrast mode. So if you click on the artist palette, and you'll see that we have a couple of different modes. You have your default mode, which is, on my system, it's set to a white background with black text. That is called light mode. Dark mode is your black background with white text. Then you have your yellow mode, which again is your yellow with your black text. And then you have your blue mode, which is a blue background and black text on top of it. And when I go to default, it brings me back here. So you have a couple of different ways, again, for students that might prefer to have that contrast, either because of a visual disability or just a comfort level. They don't like that stark white background. They prefer the dark, or they prefer a more subdued yellow background. The next feature that you have will allow you to customize the line spacing. When I click on here, my default, it goes to loose. Standard is going to be just like that, standard. It's a standard line spacing. It brings it a little bit closer together. Loose gives you just a little bit more of a separation between the lines. And then you have very loose, which gives you, again, a much larger space between the two lines. So I think also depending on what your zoom is on the page, you may want to change the line spacing dependent on what your how much text is actually on that page in reading mode. The next feature you have is letter spacing. And you have three options. You have standard, which again is what you would see on a traditional web page or in traditional print. You have wide, which again is going to just give a little bit more spacing between those letters. And then you have very wide, which is going to give you even more spacing between those letters. So again, these are ways that students can customize the text and how they're able to absorb reading that text. The final feature is the reading mode. As I said at the beginning of the video, if we were on a Chromebook, you would have an icon that would allow you to turn the reading mode on, which is the text-to-speech feature. But because I am on a Mac, that feature is not currently available. They did say during the session that this is a feature that they are going to be rolling out to Mac users and PC users. But even though it's not available right here in reading mode, because I have speak selection turned on under my accessibility features in general for my Mac, I can come in and I can highlight the text and I can turn on my text-to-speech.
Disney history, navigating the timeless magic of Disney parks.
The one thing I don't like about this feature is that you do have to go in and highlight. Now what's nice is that as I'm highlighting it over here in reading mode, it is also highlighting it over here on the website, and it's bringing me down that area.
What started as a tiny cartoon studio in the back of a real estate office has grown into a beloved brand that touches the lives of people all over the globe.
And then I can use my, as you saw down there, I can use my text-to-speech box to turn things on and off. When you're all done with reading mode, all you do is come up here to the top and you click on the X, and it brings me back to my primary web page. So that's a very quick overview of how you can use the reading mode when you are using the Chrome web browser. And I hope that you can find a way for either yourself or your students to benefit from using this tool. Thank you.